Greetings, everyone. I would like to present to you a few small improvements, but most importantly, one big one, which is called Proxy. In our Evilginx Control Panel project, the official repository supports Proxy, but I decided to simplify its installation a bit and, in addition to that, create proxy rotation. I will now show you everything clearly with an example of how it will all work. As I said before, you don't need to write a single line of code to manage proxy servers. For this, I chose Linode because it's very easy to deploy different servers there using an API key. Look, take a close look at this, because this is the specific IP address of our server, which you can see is ending in 207. Here is our actual Linode server that we are working with today. In the previous video, I showed you that this is the original site of the victim site itself, which is called, and this is the exact one which we are going to attack. I created this entire site myself specifically for this demonstration, so as not to violate any copyrights or cause any issues. And here is our attacking domain, which perfectly duplicates this site in every single detail. As you can see, it is an exact replica. Let's refresh this site now. If you look at the eTerminal menu, we can see that requests are already coming into us. First, let's take a moment to talk about a few important points regarding these minor updates. It is important that we cover these details. Look, I added notifications to the notification center. I renamed the terminal to eTerminal, that is the terminal of Evilginx itself. It is important to note that this specific command works only for Evilginx. And here you have a simple terminal interface that allows you to manage all aspects of the command line, giving you full control over the entire process. For example, like this, I don't know. Besides that, we have a health checker which displays the status of our server, taking into account all its other data, physical data and data, or rather traffic metrics, how much traffic is coming in, how much RAM is being used, and so on. But the most important point here is our proxy. Look, in order to connect everything in one click, you need to go into your Linode account. So this only works via Linode. Click on your user and go to API tokens. Here you need to create one API token, with all permissions. And most importantly, you can set any interval and even infinity. The main thing is to select all and read write. I did that. You give it a name and click create token. I have the token. Now I will explain to you how to enter this token, how to create a proxy in one click, and ensure everything works automatically and is configured visually without any issues. But before that, let me show you something. Look, let's go to our dashboard. And here actually is the phishing site. Let's do it this way. If I enter it now, sign in and authorize, we will immediately get a JWT token and we will have it. Of course, we've been through all this. These are our sessions. We can even view the JWT token separately. We can look at its view. But there are certainly moments when, for example, if you are dealing with several different websites, specifically those highly professional, famous, and well-established platforms, they will often automatically block your access if they detect that far too many authorization requests are suddenly coming from a single IP address. It is a common security measure. Since you are using Linode, all your requests are coming from this IP address, and at some point the site might block them and send you a 429 error, which means that access from this IP address is limited. So that you don't have to spin up a new Evilginx server every time, a proxy system is provided there. But let's move on to this topic now. For this, I specifically created an application for this original site of mine. You don't need to do this. I'm doing this to show you clearly. Let's go to our site and all its IP addresses. By all, I mean IPv4 and IPv6 because Linode sometimes sends requests from an IPv6 IP address. We will now add these addresses to the blacklist so that our site specifically blocks them. Now we select Add. This process will take just a couple of seconds because this file connects directly to my site and adds those IP addresses to the block list so that they get blocked effectively and stay blocked. Look, I have successfully added my Evilginx server IP address to the blacklist on the original site. Now, if we go ahead and refresh the page, let's navigate over here. And if we refresh the page right here and then proceed to try and log in, we will see that we get a 429 error, which confirms the block is working as expected. That is, we won't get any token. Let's check this. Let's go to sessions and clear the database completely. There. Let's go back here. See, the phishlet is there, but there are no cookies. We refresh the page, click sign in, and nothing happens. This is standard protection. In such a case, we can set up a proxy server for ourselves. Now we will enter our API token. Look, just copy it, paste it. If you write something here, of course, the connection will not be established. It checks the API key, after which the menu opens. And everything here is as simple as possible. Look, you can create exactly as many proxy servers as you need. I'm choosing 2, but you can have 20, you can have 50. It makes no difference. You can select a region for each IP address individually or one region for all other proxy servers. Let's choose Atlanta. There it is, displayed right here. Everything works via API and I don't know, let's go with London. Keep in mind that you cannot select a third IP if you have the value set to 2 here. But if it's 3, then you can select 3. That is, the number of servers is limited. The number of regions is limited by the number of servers. Now, well, let's make 2 of them. I don't know. Let's just make it London, yeah. And when we click Deploy Proxies, it will automatically create servers on Evilginx on Linode, on a Nanode, with 1 GB of RAM, that's enough, and it will set up a Squid proxy there. The proxy is called Squid. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And at the moment, we only have 1 server. Let's do the same setup now. Like this with Linode, yeah. Let's shrink this down a bit. There. Well, so that everything is displayed clearly for us. We click the deploy button. It's creating a proxy on the server. Look, here, I'm showing everything in real time. If you click here, you see that the task of creating servers has started and it's already in progress. See? And here is this server. Look, it ends in 113. If you click here, I don't know if the IP is visible or not, but its name is visible. 46. 46. I always just say the ending, so I don't have to list the full name. It's exactly the same one. So this server is being created in Atlanta, after which we will have to pause and consider the next steps. Yes, I currently have a specific technical restriction on creating the next token in the sequence. Or rather, I am limited when it comes to defining the precise boundaries of the region we are working within right now. Well, then I think it is probably best if we just go ahead and pause all of this for now. And I just created the account. That's why we're having this problem. Let's do a destroy. No problems. Let's go ahead and refresh our page first, and then we can move on to create our... wait, where exactly is it? Ah, there it is, the proxy settings. Let me just click on that. Let's choose, I don't know, maybe Dallas. Actually, let's choose, I don't know, let's just go with Germany instead. It feels like a better option for us right now, don't you think? This kind of error doesn't happen often. Most likely, since I have a new account, there might be some restrictions. And in the notification center, we get all the news. No problems here. Let's do deploy proxies. This time we didn't get an error. And there we created it. Let's do it this way. There. We created two servers at once. That is, you manage your Linode account directly from the Evilginx panel. You don't have to type anything anywhere. The server name and server password are created automatically. It doesn't show up anywhere. Everything is completely designed so that you can create your proxies with a single click. Now, it does take a little bit of time to complete, but believe me, it is absolutely worth the wait. First, the system creates the servers on Ubuntu, and then it waits for them to fully boot up. Only after that is confirmed, the proxy software itself is automatically installed in the background. Because of this, I am going to go ahead and pause the video for just a little while. Once the servers have been fully created and are ready to go, I will jump right back in and continue with the recording. Here our proxy server installation has been successfully completed. Now we have even received a notification about this. 2 proxies have been created. There are no errors. And there hasn't been a bind yet. Now let's do it like this. We don't need Linode, that was just for demonstration. Look, we select our phishlet, that is this eBostia one. You can select 1, 2, all, or several. We do an assign, that is, we attach the selected IP addresses to our phishlet. We perform the assign. And now, yes. I will talk about the carousel function a bit later. The most important thing to remember is that right here in front of us, we have our little phishlets. Our proxies are connected to the phishlet. We also received a notification. What does this mean? If our attacking domain happens to receive a 429 error 3 times in a row within a 15-minute window, the system will automatically switch over to the next available server in the rotation to ensure that our operations continue to run smoothly. Whether you have 100 proxy addresses, 50 or 10, it doesn't matter. That is, from 1, this proxy address that is active after receiving a 429 error 3 times will simply disconnect, meaning this IP address will be detached and it will switch to another one. That's in this mode. Let me just refresh the page now and show you what it looks like. Actually, I should have refreshed this page. Well, let's see. Previously, we were getting 429 errors, right? Let's refresh this page. Excellent. As we refresh this page, we received a request. We can clearly see that this IP address is currently active and all traffic is going through here. Let me show you something else. There are these cards at the bottom. Detailed information with detailed specifics. Besides all of this being displayed in this bar and in the chart, it is displayed here. Here, a phishlet attached to each IP address is displayed. It can be the same one or different ones. And the traffic is shown. That is, the selected IP addresses can be attached to all other phishlets as well. Now, you have the flexibility, of course, to delete the proxy server directly from this interface, or if you prefer, you can simply stop it or restart it entirely. However, we won't be performing any of those specific actions right now. Instead, let's shift our focus, because we are going ahead and logging into the system now. We have received a session. Let's log in one more time. There. Now we see that we have a JWT token. And most importantly, we see the authorization. That is, any actions or changes are visible in both the dashboard and the session. That is simultaneously. And we have full unrestricted access to all of the data in an interactive form. And of course, we can also access this information via Telegram, just as I demonstrated to you in the previous video. Now, let's go ahead and log out of the system here, and then we will proceed to add this specific IP address to our blacklist to ensure it is blocked from future access. Let's go in. 65 is there. We select this server. So, looking at our current setup, the active server we are focusing on right now is this specific one, identified as 65. Now, let's go ahead and take its unique IP address and carefully add it to our blacklist configuration. We are doing this specifically to observe and analyze exactly how our server infrastructure reacts to this restriction in real time. We are currently in the process of adding these specific IP addresses to our server's blacklist. The goal here is to carefully observe and analyze exactly how our phishlet behaves after it has encountered for 3 consecutive times a 429 error response, which indicates that we are hitting our rate limits. The IP addresses have been updated. Oh God, I closed our page. But that's no problem. Returning to the proxy page. Let's do it like this. Yeah. Now, look, I'll refresh this page, our phishlets page. And this IP, let's say the server, but in our case, we manually added it to the blacklist. We click sign in, we get a 429. These ones we have, we'll mark everything now so you can see the result. We received it once. We click and get it a second time, and the third time, if we get a 429, there will be a disconnect from this IP address, and it will jump to this IP address. And the third time. As you saw, we received the message proxy rotated. That IP address, the 65th one, disconnected, and basically it jumped to this IP address. Of course, we have also received a formal notification regarding this specific issue. Now, let's go ahead and take the necessary steps to bind this IP address once again to ensure everything is configured correctly. Yes, I didn't select the phishlet. Of course, again, if we click refresh here, okay, let's authorize. This IP address is not on our blacklist. Because of this, our authorization will be successful, and we will see the data being populated separately for this proxy server there. We have the GVT capture saved for the first time. There. And here we see the traffic. We see the traffic and the number of requests here. Now let's do the following. We are reattaching this IP address to our phishlet. And let's add this IP address to the blacklist as well. Why are we doing this? I will explain that to you now. Let's go back one step. Just a moment. And we take this IP address and add it to the blacklist too. The database system is going to update right now. Yes, everything is great. Look. And we enable carousel mode. What does carousel mode mean? If you think that the 429 error happens rarely, or is a mistake, or isn't blocking anything, or is temporary, then instead of doing a detach, that is, disconnecting the attached proxies, it will simply jump from one to another in the list of IP addresses in a circle. Let's check. Refreshing the page. Let's do everything. We will mark everything everything is red, and we can see here that the carousel has been activated. Look, we click once, we get a rejection, twice we get a rejection, and three, we got a rejection. The IP jumps back to another one. If we do the same thing 3 more times, we will jump to another IP address again, and so on in a loop. This is in case the 429 error is a false positive. Again, I try to take into account all the nuances, all the scenario options. We can remove this. Proxy. We see the total amount of costs, so to speak, for traffic, the number of requests. Here are 3 requests, 2 requests, and so on. And we have, that is, we mark it as red in the notification center. That's it. Thus, you simply need to click on the Deploy Server button. From there, you can choose as many as you want. Select different cities, pick different regions, really as many as you like. Just keep in mind, you cannot exceed your total server limit. Once you have made your selections, you are all set to go ahead and deploy your infrastructure. That's it. This will simplify your server, working with your server, and besides that, it will make it almost indestructible because a proxy is a very important nuance in this field. Thank you all very much for your attention. I thank everyone. If there are any other updates, I will add them and make a video review about them. Thank you all very much. All the best.